Hey guys, so just got back from seeing Osage County. I know I said in my last review for Anchorman 2 I was going to see this on Friday, but I kind of got lazy and ended up not going to see it because I really wasn't like dying to see this movie, and I figured I had a few days off this week that I would eventually get around to seeing it before it left my movie theater. Um, but before I get into that review, I feel like it would be wrong for me not to mention something that happened yesterday. I know I'm not talking about the Super Bowl. I'm talking about the death of Phillip Seymour Hoffman. It was like yesterday. I got home from work, and I usually check the movie websites, news websites, for any new news about any movies coming up or stuff like that. And I didn't, and I went on my Facebook instead. And as soon as I went on my Facebook wall was just blown up. Rest in peace, Philip Seymour Hoffman. Rest in peace, Philip Seymour Hoffman. All this stuff from almost everybody that I was friends with, and it was like ridiculous. I was like, wow. I was flabbergasted though. I was just sitting there flabbergasted, like, wow. Like, I couldn't believe what I was reading. Like, then I read on comingsoon.net that this, he had passed away, and I was just floored by it. Philip Seymour Hoffman, in my opinion, is one of the greatest actors of our generation. Um, the guy was so fucking good. He even he was one of those actors that not only was he great at doing really dark, dramatic roles, but he also was really good at comedic roles. Look at movies like Twister, um, where even though that movie really fucking sucks, he was the most memorable part of that movie. Even movies like Boogie Nights, also movies like Boogie Nights, he was really good in that. He was more of a comedic role. Um, but obviously he was remembered for movies like Capote or The Master, which I never have seen, but I hear really good things about. Stuff like that. Hell, even the new Hunger Games, I gave him a hell lot of praise. And I remember in my review I said, I hope he uh, gets his shit together because I want to see him do more of these movies. And unfortunately, because there was unfortunately a month before that the movie came out, he I think OD'd or went into rehab and was trying to kick his heroin addiction. And unfortunately, we get this fucking news. I'm not gonna get into the whole drug addict debate. I've already heard some people bashing him for dying with a needle in his arm. I'm not gonna do that. That's fucking rude. Don't do that shit. The guy obviously had personal demons, and that's really fucking sad because this guy was so well loved by the acting community and the movie critic circles that it proves that even with all that praise and all the fame and the fortune doesn't amount to shit when you still got a lot of his personal demons, and even somebody like that can still have that. Really sucks, man. Wow. I don't know. Between this and Gandolfini last year, we've lost two really great actors. People like Peter O'Toole. Somebody pointed out, made a comparison between Philip Seymour Hoffman and Peter O'Toole. Like how Peter O'Toole, I didn't mention Peter O'Toole's death on any videos because I wasn't a guy who watched many Peter O'Toole movies because I was too young around that, or wasn't even born. For a lot of his most famous movies, but somebody pointed out Peter O'Toole was 90 something, I think, when he died, and Philip Seymour Hoffman was only 46, and he was only probably halfway through a great career. And he could have had a career like Peter O'Toole's, but because of his untimely death, he won't be able to. We don't know what he could have been capable of. He could have been capable of more great roles, but we'll never see it. I wouldn't be surprised come Oscar time. There's something done at the ceremony. I know they usually do an in memoriam video highlight reel of like the people that have passed away, and I think there's a deadline for that though, so it might not have him on there on in memoriam video package, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do something talking about him at the ceremony, because he was so well loved by everybody. Yeah, rest in peace, man. This really sucks. We lost a great actor, and but I gotta get on to my review for August Osage County, because it's been 5.5 minutes of me talking about Phillip Seymour Hoffman. But anyways, August Osage County was a movie that I kind of had zero expectations going into. That's because I really didn't really have really high expectations, mainly because of the fact that every time I saw a trailer for this movie, I thought it just looked like a bland family drama that had starring a lot of big name actors that was obviously Oscar bait, and it looked like it was succeeding because Julia Roberts and Meryl Streep both got Oscar nominations. Even though I say that about the trailers, I also did notice that it looked like Meryl Streep was going to be great in this movie. And I love Meryl Streep. I almost love her in anything. And even in a bad movie, she can be really good. Even in a bad movie, she can be the most memorable part. And this looked like she was having fun with this movie. So going in, I had zero expectations. And coming out, I can honestly say with all those low expectations, I can honestly say I really enjoyed the hell out of this movie. This movie surprised the hell out of me. This movie was really entertaining and really memorable, and kind of stuck with me after I watched it. It's a movie you won't forget about anytime soon after watching it. This movie is definitely misleading for the trailers. The trailers, in my opinion, are really misleading, and I'll talk about that a little bit more as I get into the review. But one thing I gotta give praise the most, that almost everybody else is the acting, particularly Meryl Streep, because this is, in my opinion, the Meryl Streep show. Meryl Streep steals every goddamn scene she's in. She chews up every scene she's in also, but she's also really fucking good at it and very memorable, and the one character that sticks out the most after you watch it. She can only chew up scenery and steal every scene only in a way that only Meryl Streep can, and she does it in this movie. She plays a pill addict who's addicted to like stuff like muscle relaxers, Xanax, and a bunch of other pills, and also drinks and smokes all the time, who also has mouth cancer, and her husband Sam Shepard commits suicide, and that kind of drives her over the edge even more. And Sam Shepard, by the way, was only in this movie for like less than 5 minutes. He's only in the opening scene, and that's about it. And that opening scene was just memorable enough that I kind of wanted to see more of Sam Shepard, but of course, because of his suicide, you don't see much more of him. And that's sad, because he was actually, that one scene, he was really good at it. And the interaction between him and Meryl Streep was really great. I wish we could have seen more of that. The more of that really fucked up marriage that they had. Also, Julia Roberts is really awesome and is good in this movie, and she deserves all the praise she gets. The scenes with her and Meryl Streep together are really great, and she holds her own and acting alongside Meryl Streep. You need an actor, a really good actor, to act along Meryl Streep, because I mean, trying to hold your own is a really hard job to do that. And they also have, those two were really good. While those two were really good, it's mainly their show, and all the other actors do kind of are just basically background for the rest of or for both of them, or just background characters, honestly. But even if they are background characters, they're still pretty good characters. People like Benedict Cumberbatch is really good in this movie. He plays the dopey, or like the kind of goofball cousin who kind of gets bashed by the whole family, but he's honestly not that bad of a guy. He's like one of the most decent guys in this whole family, because this whole family is really fucked up in the head. And also got people like Juliette Lewis, who I haven't seen Juliette Lewis in a fucking movie in a long time. And I was like, damn it, I was glad to see her in this movie. And she's pretty goddamn, the scenes she's in, she is pretty memorable in them. And she's very good. You got Abigail Breslin, Little Miss Sunshine. It's really fucking weird to see Little Miss Sunshine all grown up and have boobs. They talk about her boobs in this movie. That's really fucking weird for me to see a little girl from Little Miss Sunshine have boobs. It is still really weird. Damn it! Who else is in this movie? Damn it! Who's the? Forgetting his name. Chris Cooper. Chris Cooper. Thank you. Chris Cooper is really good as the uncle, who's married to Meryl Streep's sister. He's very funny. He has some funny lines in this movie, and he acts really well. And seeing him alongside people like Meryl Streep, he definitely belongs with people like Meryl Streep, because he's a really good actor, just as good of an actor in my opinion as she is. I'm trying to think. I'm forgetting somebody else here. I know I am. You got Ewan McGregor too, who kind of is just there to be to show the conflicts that Julia Roberts is having, because he's Julia Roberts' husband, who now they're separated, and they had Abigail Breslin together, and it's also kind of funny. I want to go back to he's an English actor playing an American, but also at the same time you have somebody like Benedict Cumberbatch, who's a British actor who's supposed to be from Oklahoma. That was kind of a little strange casting. He does a good job in hiding his British accent. I'll give him that. But that was kind of weird. That was kind of weird. The thing, though, with this movie is that separates itself from just being a boring family drama is that this movie is fucked up beyond belief. I could not do this movie justice. I will get it. This family is so... Honestly, this is one of the most fucked up families I've seen put on film. Wow. This movie is not a family drama. It's a really bleak, sleazy, dark comedy. And it's a really good one at it. Honestly, this movie looked like it was going to be just a family drama at the beginning, because it kind of was getting a little bit boring, like in the first 20 minutes or so. It was kind of like, just, oh boy, like I'm just sitting there like, oh boy, this is going to be a long movie to sit through, because it's just the typical family drama cliches here and there. And Meryl Streep would pop up and have a memorable line here and there. But you're just like, oh god, get on with this. But when it gets to when the movie eventually gets really good is when the whole family gets together for the dad, Sam Shepard's funeral. And what transpires is one of the most memorable family dinner scenes I've seen put on film in a long time. It is fucked up beyond belief. Meryl Streep is fucked up on high on all these pills, and she just goes around bashing all the family members and just spouting some really awful things to some of them, and it results in some really awkward, hilarious moments in it. And it goes on for 15 minutes. This dinner scene goes on for 15 minutes, and it's really well written, really, really good. I can't do it justice. I'm not going to try to do it justice. I will give you an example, though, of how fucked up this movie gets. The most memorable fucked up moment in this movie happens when it's revealed that one of Meryl Streep's daughters when Benedict Cumberbatch comes over, because he's late and he misses the funeral, and he comes over for the dinner, it's revealed that one of Meryl Streep's daughters, she's one of the one daughter, I don't know her name, the actress's name, and I know she was pretty damn good in this movie, but it's revealed that she's having an affair with Benedict Cumberbatch. Now, I was kind of enamored with this movie at this point, so it took me a little bit to realize that, wait a minute, this movie just fucking introduced incest into the story. What? No joke. The daughter is in love with her first cousin. And it's like, what? And she explains, though, that she'll never be able to have a kid because she had a hysterectomy, and because of that, it's okay. What? Like, you're just sitting there like, okay, that's fucking weird. Like, they do address it. Thank God. You know, some people are like, they eventually kind of get around to the idea that maybe it'll be okay. You know, whatever. You know, they'll not be able to have kids. And even though it's really not politically correct, to say the least, maybe if they're in love with each other, they can maybe live happy together one way or another. But then, fucking dead. I'm gonna get into spoilers here. When do you think that this storyline could get more fucked up? It's revealed that they're not cousins. They're actually brothers and sisters. I'm not fucking joking. It's revealed, spoiler, it's revealed that Meryl Streep's sister ended up, long time ago, having an affair with Meryl Streep's husband, Sam Shepard. And what the baby that resulted ended up being Benedict Cumberbatch. So, because of that, the sisters, they're both brother and sister. And they're planning to move to New York together and live together. And you're just sitting there like, wow. I'm just sitting there going, wow. Like, that's fucked up beyond belief. And, oh my God. It does result in one of the most memorable scenes in the movie, which is the scene where, at the end, where Meryl Streep, Julia Roberts, and the daughter that's wanting to leave with Benedict Cumberbatch are sitting at dinner. The daughter doesn't know about them being brother and sister yet. Julia Roberts knows, and the daughter wants to reveal to Meryl Streep that she's moving to New York. And to tell her that she's not going to live there anymore because she's been helping Meryl Streep out pretty much her whole life. Help her, and it results in a really great scene that revolves around catfish too, which is really funny. It's really great, well written, and did this movie get nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay? I hope it fucking did, because this movie is based off a play. You can tell it is. Like, the way it's written and stuff like that. And this is also written by the person that wrote the play, and you can kind of tell it is. And they do a pretty good job. And like I said, writing this screenplay, turning this play into a screenplay. But you also, like I said, you can tell this was written originally as a play. Just certain elements you can tell. Like I said, the dinner scene, that's definitely something you could do in a play. Like, have like a 15-minute scene where just a bunch of characters sitting around at a table. But, it works on this film too, like I said. There's a lot of, like I said, there's just a lot of scenes where it's stuck in one place and it just sits there in one place. And that's something that you see mostly in plays, is that you have one scene that's just sitting there in one place and that's it. But, yeah, like I said, this movie's well written, and I hope it got nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay because it fucking deserves it. What the fuck else? This movie also kind of ends kind of really sadly because basically Meryl Streep is just left alone, at the end of this movie. It has nobody to look, because by the end of this movie, everybody fucking hates each other. You know, this is like what, because this family just doesn't resolve any of its fucking issues. They just make them fucking worse by the end of this movie. Everybody hates each other by the end of this movie. And honestly, I know people like family dramas where everybody resolves their issues, but honestly, this is almost about as realistic as a family as any family out there right now. Because, I mean, this family is taking some of it, like, the family elements nowadays a little to the extreme, like fucking incest. I don't really know many people that are fucking their first cousins. But there are families out there like this a lot more than the perfect family that has no problems. I could fucking guarantee you that. This movie is... I enjoyed the hell out of this movie. The people I was in the theater with, we were talking about it as we were walking out. They even asked me how I thought about this movie. And they were complaining, and this movie does have that problem where it just kind of abruptly ends, and it kind of does, and they were like, oh, maybe this will get a sequel, and maybe we'll find out what happens in the sequel. I'm like, I highly doubt this is getting a sequel, but whatever. Yeah, I recommend this movie, really do. As far as trailers go, I didn't really get... I got like 3 trailers. I got the Winter's Tale trailer. I got a couple, like, obviously Oscar bait kind of movies. Like, what the fuck was it? Oh, that One Chance, where it was like a true story about a guy who wanted a really fat, like a fat guy from Britain who wanted a homely looking guy who wanted to become an opera singer, and everybody made fun of him and said he would never amount to anything. And he goes on Britain's Got Talent and does opera, becomes a huge opera singer, and I'm like, is this the fucking male version of Susan Boyle? The fuck? Like, I don't know. It's like, I don't give a fuck, whatever. And then he had a Colin Firth movie called The Railway Guy. I think it was Railroad Guy or something like that. It looked actually pretty good. It was like a story about how Colin Firth is a guy who fought in World War II, who got captured and surrendered to the Japanese, and he's imprisoned by the Japanese, and he and this group of guys that are imprisoned by the Japanese are forced to build a railway for the Japanese, but he and these guys decide to revolt against the Japanese, and it looks like a pretty solid film. Colin Firth is a good actor, really fucking good actor. They look pretty good. Definitely, those movies look like fucking Oscar bait kind of films, even though they're coming out in like probably February or somewhere in March or something like that. And you're like, well, that's a little fucking late. Yeah, that's the Railway Guy looked pretty good. And the One Chance I could not give a fuck about. That one looked pretty bad, even though it was directed by the guy who made Devil Wears Prada, which whatever. Again, that was another movie that Meryl Streep was the best part in that fucking movie. The rest of it was okay. But yeah, I recommend August Osage County. It's a lot better than trailers make it out to be. It's definitely not what, and it's also definitely not what the trailers make it out to be. Also, I would say, I guarantee you, like the crowd, the demographic that will be going to see this is older people, older women, and stuff like that. They should maybe know a little bit more about this movie before they go to see it, because I guarantee you they're going to be shocked, because this movie's kind of a little sleazy and a little politically incorrect on some of it, especially stuff like incest. This movie, yeah, there's a lot of political incorrectness in this movie. I kind of enjoyed it. It's fucked up beyond belief, but it was memorable and enjoyable. I'll be back Friday with definitely Friday with Lego Movie and Monuments Men. Both movies hopefully are. Lego Movie I'm hoping is really good, even though the trailers don't look very good. And Monuments Men looks really good. I'm really looking forward to that. So we got those two, and I'll be back this Friday, and I'll see you guys later.